The night was cruel and endless, the kind that froze the city's soul beneath the weight of winter. Snow whirled through the air like shattered pieces of memory, covering everything in silence and sorrow. On a deserted highway outside Boston, a black SUV pushed through the storm, its headlights cutting across the darkness. Inside sat Ethan Cole, a man who had everything money could buy: power, wealth, success, but none of it filled the quiet ache left in his heart since the day his wife died 3 years ago. He was the kind of man who could close $1 million deal before breakfast but couldn't remember the last time he'd smiled without pretending. That night, he wasn't thinking about business, he was just a father trying to get home to his twin daughters before the bridge closed under the blizzard. Visibility dropped to almost nothing. He slowed, gripping the steering wheel tight, and then he saw her. A figure crouched by the roadside, wrapped in snow, clutching something close. He almost kept going, but a faint cry made him slam the brakes. Through the swirling snow he saw a woman on the frozen ground, trembling, holding 2 small bundles. The weak sound of babies crying pierced the storm like a fragile plea. Ethan's chest tightened. He jumped out, the cold biting into his face. "Hey! Are you okay?" he shouted over the wind. The woman looked up, her eyes were wide with fear and exhaustion. Her lips shook so badly she could barely speak. "Please, my babies. They're freezing," she whispered. Without thinking, Ethan said, "Get in the car, now." He helped her up as she struggled to hold both infants. Her legs gave out once, and he caught her before she fell. He opened the passenger door and guided her inside, blasting the heat. The babies were wrapped in thin blankets, their little faces red and wet with tears. Ethan pulled off his coat and covered them, feeling the faint tremor of their tiny bodies. "Where were you headed?" he asked once warmth started filling the car. The woman stared down, tears tracing her cheeks. "Anywhere," she murmured. "The bus broke down hours ago. No one stopped. I didn't know what else to do." Her name was Lily Anderson, a nurse who had lost her job when her hospital abruptly shut down. Her husband, a soldier, had died 6 months earlier, leaving her alone with newborn twins and no family to lean on. She'd been on her way to a small-town clinic offering shelter to struggling mothers, but the storm had closed the roads and the bus never made it. She'd been sitting there for hours, praying for a miracle. Something stirred inside Ethan, something that had been asleep for years. He had built his life like a fortress of work and silence, but this fragile, desperate stranger had somehow stepped through his walls without even trying. "You're coming with me," he said quietly but firmly. She looked alarmed. "I can't. I don't even know you." He glanced at her, his voice soft but certain. "Then let's fix that. I'm Ethan."